What is up, YouTube? I am Eric and you are watching Retro Video Game Pickups. Today, we are going to be talking about Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch. So if you like games, consoles, or product reviews, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. With that being said, let's hop into it. Fortnite is one of the games that everyone has either been playing or talking about in recent months because it is a very fun game, it's very easy to get into, and it's completely free. And there's other games of the same variety, but for me, Fortnite is where it's at because, yet again, it's free. So I have this on the Xbox One, the PS4, and now the Nintendo Switch. So we're going to be talking about what I think about Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch. I've put many hours into Fortnite, whether it be on the Xbox One or the PS4, but now I'm going to sit down and play some of the Nintendo Switch version and see what I think about it. Now, I will say I enjoyed it, but it's not quite all I wanted it out to be, but that's okay. It's really going to be a fun game no matter how you play it, whether it's on the PC or the Xbox One or the PS4 or the Nintendo Switch or even mobile. But I'm just glad I can finally talk about this. I've been wanting to do a kind of video about Fortnite or something about it, but there wasn't anything that kind of fit for me. But this is definitely one that fits for me and this channel because this was newly announced and just came out today. This is something I had been hearing rumors about, but I hadn't quite figured out if it was true or not. So when it dropped, I was very excited and happy. Now, there was a bunch of stuff Nintendo announced at E3, and this is just one of those things that they said, okay, this is happening today, along with Hollow Knight. So that's why I'm talking about this video, because I know a lot of people are going to be talking about that E3, either Smash Bros or any other cool games. There's a bunch of cool games that have been brought to light at E3, so that's why I've decided to stick with Fortnite and not do too much E3 coverage in this video. But with that being said, I'm very happy that I got my hands on this. I got to play it and had a bunch of fun. Now I do have different footage. I have footage from my Switch being on dock mode through my Elgato, which is the screenplay, and then I also have it where I have it handheld so you guys can see what it looks like. But we're gonna hop into it and we're gonna start with the handheld mode. Now the handheld mode looks good. As you can probably tell from the footage that it really looks crisp and it doesn't look too bad. Like, I know you're taking a console game and bringing it back to the handheld, but everyone wants to play this game mobily. And playing this on your phone's probably this big and there's no controllers attached to it. But with the Switch, you're talking about a screen that's probably about this big and then 2 Joy-Cons attached to it. So that's really awesome. If you have a hotspot and maybe a portable battery, you can take this anywhere and play Fortnite and have a bunch of fun. Now, I didn't notice anything bad about the handheld mode. It looked like it was pretty good because there wasn't anything that I noticed graphically that were kind of lagging or ditching or just having problems with. But when we get to the other docked mode, you'll see the difference. Now, I tried to capture it as much as I could on the handheld mode, and it looks pretty good from what I think about playing it, just sitting down, playing it for an hour or two in handheld mode, and then videoing it in handheld mode, and then playing it in docked mode. Comparison, handheld mode is where this at. If I'm going to be playing the Fortnite on the Switch, it's definitely going to be in handheld mode because that's where it's more comfortable and that's where I think this game really shines. Now, we will talk about docked mode. Dock mode, I think, is a very bad port of this game, honestly. Fortnite is obviously a port for the Switch. Now, you might say, okay, well, this generation is not a port, But let's be serious, this is a game that was not meant to be on this system and was ported to it. Now, like I said, the handheld mode looks good, but when you put it in dock mode, it just goes all over the place. There's frames dropping like crazy when you're running. The grass is really bad when you're running or when the wind's blowing it. It's hard to see it. Now you do see frames drop a lot in docked mode that I didn't necessarily notice in handheld mode. Now they may be there, but they were not as much pronounced as dock mode. I saw that when I knocked down trees, they were kind of just kind of falling but kind of still there. It was a weird thing that I hadn't seen, and it just wasn't as well as I would have liked to have seen. Now when the Switch is docked, I expect to be able to see a little bit more out of it. However, I feel like that's the opposite of this effect with the Fortnite, because I feel like this Fortnite was brought to the Switch for the mobile port and not necessarily the console home port, which that's okay because like I said, I have it on the Xbox One and the PS4, so I have other means of playing it. However, it's something that I would like to be able to put my Switch on the dock and keep playing. But it didn't work out that way, sadly, but that's okay because I'll be able to play it mobilely. That's really cool, and I'll be able to play it comfortably with the Joy-Cons. Now, the sound of the game I felt sounded good, and everything about that was really cool. It didn't seem anything bad about it. I noticed that the controls were actually better than I expected because I've played games like Doom and Splatoon and other kind of first-person shooter games, and I say shooter because of Splatoon obviously, but you know what I mean, because the controls are kind of rigid and they're not as loose as I would like them to, so instead of being able to zoom like this, you're just and I definitely noticed it in the docked mode a lot more. It was a lot more choppy and it was just not good. Now I did notice in dock mode when someone was running across the stream, it was like frame drop, frame drop, frame drop, frame drop. It was just not good looking. But the controls actually were pretty nice. I did get some kills on it. Now I didn't do as well as I would have hoped playing it on the other two systems, but that's okay. It was my first time really getting down the controls. Now the control scheme is kind of the same, but with the weird buttons different places, and it's just a learning curve that you've got to figure out. But the controls were actually much better than I thought they were. The vibration and the Pro Controller actually was kind of nice when you're building. You could kind of feel it, hey, I'm building, and it was kind of cool. So with that being said, if you like Fortnite or the Nintendo Switch, comment below and let me know if you've downloaded it, if you've played it, what you think about it, whether you've played it on handheld or docked mode, all that stuff, mention below, and we'll just get the conversation going and see what other people think. But with that being said, don't forget about that Facebook, that Twitter, that Instagram, that Patreon, that Big Cartel. All that stuff is in the below in the description. But most of all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Most importantly, have a nice day.